This is the quick and quite boring story of a teenage zombie. To first understand our teenager, we have to look at his upbringing. So first, let us have a look at his early years through his photo album. He was a cute baby. He had an awful cry that used to scare the next door neighbor's cat when he cried. One night after a good lung stretching session, he drove the poor cat to step out in front of a bus.
Where's my cat?
As a baby, he loved his food. He even once ate one of his sisters because she had a dirty nappy, and he thought it was chocolate. He loved nothing more as he got older than going to the seaside. He would spend all day burying a bit of his body in the sand, so his mom had to put him back together at the end of the day and wash off all the sand. She would have a nasty surprise when they got home and he had shoved a crab up his nose. At bath times, he would entertain himself by way of farting and making bubbles, which sometimes he would push a little too hard and make the water toxic. He once made such a smell the council closed a local Indian restaurant down for a week to unblock the drains. Like most kids of his age, he liked to go to the park to chase the dog walkers and throw dog shit back at them, 'cause they didn't pick it up, and it was the nice warm stuff that gets under your nails. He would spend hours listening to the screams of the dog walkers as they ran away in disgust. The rest of his life was taken up with the boring chores his parents had bestowed on him, like the little task of putting the bins out and cleaning the bathroom after a bath. Going to bed was a bit problematic, as Frank didn't understand the concept of time or clear instructions of go to bed, as Frank knew there was always one more game to be had on the PlayStation. This one more game attitude stood him in good stead, because it meant he didn't brush his teeth. Another rule set up by his parents, just to annoy Frank and take him away from his beloved PlayStation. As Frank grew older and went to school, he began to enjoy his newfound freedoms, like having a phone, being allowed to roam the local parks without the parents, so not to cramp his now growing street cred. After several years at high school, which Frank spent mainly playing football on the all-weather pitch and wandering the corridors of the school trying to find his class and racking up a list of impressive negatives by the teachers, Frank settled into the school routine and started to do very well, which surprised his parents. But he still had the occasional hiccup that caused a few double negatives, like paper planes being thrown in the class at teachers, or talking to other pupils when he should be listening and learning, or his parents' favorite negatives, which included using sticky hand toys in class or shouting private body hair in a class, which Frank still denies. One day after a normal day just walking around the school corridors, the most unexpected thing happened. A girl started to talk to Frank. He didn't quite know what was going on. Other than the rabble he called friends and his family, no one else knew he existed. Or so he thought. His friendship with the girl blossomed over the next few weeks, and it was only a matter of time before Frank's hormones kicked in and they became boyfriend and girlfriend. Frank's life then consisted of being at the park with his GF and taking ages to walk home from school, as he wanted to spend as much time with his GF as possible. They would be seen around town holding hands and swapping spit, also known as kissing. For a while, Frank changed and started to look after himself, watched what he ate, and even used soap when washing. It was once said that he lifted the toilet seat up, but that can't be verified. He even tried new hairstyles and sports activities to impress the new squeeze. But it didn't last long before Frank fell into his old ways, living like he lived in a dump, eating whatever he felt like from the fridge, playing football games on the PlayStation with his friends. It was as if nothing had changed. Then this one day, out of the blue, Frank's girlfriend dumped his sorry ass. Frank didn't know what to do. Frank did the only thing he could do at this point, and he went on to the chair of truth, aka the toilet, where Frank had many of his great ideas in the past and was his go-to place when things got bad. Frank would keep in touch with the ex, and after a few days of texting and playing on the PlayStation with his mates, he got on with his normal day-to-day of doing nothing other than eating his parents out of house and home, and PlayStation button pressing, or gaming as the kids call it. After one text one day from the ex, and then out of nowhere they were dating again, this cheered Frank up no end. We leave Frank for now, living his best life, but we will catch up with him soon, to see what stupid things he has been up to, and if he has left his room and put his PS controller down long enough to charge it. So for now, goodbye, Frank.